Okay.
Yeah,
shoot.
she's a. Oh yeah, no problem.
Sorry. Yeah, no, you're fine. I just realized I wasn't paying attention to the people who are trying to join. Oh, you're on your Apple glasses, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Hey,
How
Mac.
come we can see your face then if these are Apple glasses or whatever?
You scan your face, it like takes photos of your face, and then it just kind of projects onto it.
What?
It has cameras that can see your mouth and stuff, but pretty weird. How's the show been going, Mac?
It's been going good. I think the social just happened a minute ago for 30 minutes, and now I have just enough time to get Lido's Lounge done before they get released upon me again. But yeah.
So did the booth position end up being good, being outside, or bad?
We're right next to a bar, so I mean it can't be bad. Like I could literally reach out and get a beer from the bartender.
What
Put your
conference
card
are
in.
you at?
The LSAW.
LALS.
I'll catch up with you. I'm sorry, I'm in the meeting.
Survey show in Washington.
Land surveyors in
Oh,
Washington.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Did Gabe end up coming with you?
He'll be here tomorrow. Yeah, he'll be picking up tomorrow and coming in. He was actually thinking he wasn't gonna make it tomorrow, but he thinks he can now. And then who's Fireflies? Oh, note taker. Okay. Someone sent their note taker. We should have quite a few more people coming today, but I guess it's not even 4 yet. So
Oh dang, I didn't. I joined after I figured out setting it up. So
yeah.
my day's over. I just figured I would do this before I commuted my butt home.
There you go. Who are you working with now?
Ganska.
Skanska, okay. Do you know, have you met? How's it going, Doug, Eric?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Good.
Sorry, my vacuum cleaner's going crazy over here.
Yes.
No, it's all right. Yeah, so I thought we were going to have some of the USABD guys come. You know, I almost got caught off guard with it. And I've actually should have done a better job at advertising it this last couple of weeks, but I got a little bit sick there for 4 days or so.
You
And
think
I
you
kinda
got
dropped
sick being in Denver? Or
No,
was that after?
it was after. Well, I think it's I don't know the time frame on that type of stuff, but yeah, I just finished my isolation the other day. But yeah, I was.
Did you give it to your wife too, or?
Oh
she
yeah,
make
yeah,
it?
we were both pretty bedridden for a little bit. Luckily, there was midwinter break and the kids were out of the house, so they didn't come down with it too. This is bad enough to have to feed and walk the cat and dog. But so what's everybody been up to? I know it's been a couple of weeks. Nothing new? Any luck
I
on
moved
the
into my new house.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. My daughter wants a cat. Hell no. Dude, I don't want any more
well,
animals.
So what have the
Yeah, I
people
hear
been
ya.
talking about at LSAW today, Mac? Or what your conversations been like?
You know, they've been mostly people I already kind of know that are just stopping in to say hi, or hopefully we'll have some new connections tomorrow. Like I said, I was a little bit late today, so we'll have a full day of it tomorrow. Yeah. Were any of you guys at Geo Week? Did I miss any of you guys? No?
Not me.
I skipped it this year.
Did you? This was my first year. It was a good show.
Did you
I
think
went-
all the scanning you guys did that go as planned? Anything unexpected
no, it
come out of
didn't.
it, or
We're still going through the data. Anyways, control was messed up. We just fixed it now, and so we're resending out the control again, and hopefully we can get it all back in. Because it's 17 different sensors over that couple of days. It's going to be a pretty interesting comparison.
so who did the
Yeah.
17 people end up being?
So not all of them are actually part of the official report. Some of them they did because you had to buy in to be part of the official report. But there's Jexel, there's a whole list. Let me see if I can find it. I know the big names. Well, Trimble never wants to play. Then there's Regal. Regal's data is actually you're right, Eric. Regal's data is
It's
pretty
light, but
bitchin'.
it's super duper clean. It's insanely
Yeah.
clean, actually.
And the fact that there's no registration really, it's all on
Yeah.
board. Because I was like, how long did it take you to export and register and everything? He's like, 3 minutes. And I'm like, what? No, that's not right. And he's like, no, I just pulled it right off and gave it to you. And I was like, oh. And then he checked the report and stuff later on. But let's see. Hold on, I'll pull up the list here in a second. And then, but although I did notice there is with light surfaces and some reflective surfaces, it's struggles a little bit. Not more or less than other scanners, but more than I expected. Sorry, it popped up on my other screen. God damn it. I hate how things work sometimes. So is that why I'm pulling this? What? Anything else new? Anybody test any scanners or?
I finally got a BLK to go, but I haven't even touched it.
Oh, man.
I'm too busy with the RTC 360.
Yeah. The BLK to go is a lot of fun. A lot of work.
Yeah.
You know,
It's fitting looking shiny in the closet. I just got to actually find something to do with it.
yeah. Well, I came from the hotel industry, and so that's where what I'm looking at mostly. And, when you got that many rooms and that many individual little spaces and details and stuff, it's a pretty good scanner. I scanned 65,000 square feet with it. My challenge was, it doesn't combine well with the BLK 360 data. So I ended up scanning all 6 floors plus a basement of this property, and I did all of them with the BLK to go. I did 4 of them with the BLK 360. And 2 of those were with HDR and 2 were with low density. And I didn't realize when I did it that every single one of those was they couldn't be combinable into an E57 file. You got to do them each separately. And that kind of screwed me up. So just be aware of some of that.
Interesting.
When I combined it, it combined fine into an LGS file, but to do E57 with it, I had to do all separate.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing with that is the BLK to go, it's treated like a mobile scanner, right? So it would be similar, it's in motion, it's not a static fixed position. So it's like if you're doing vehicle scans or something, it doesn't have all the discrete setup locations. So then when you combine them, something like an E57, it's that whole structured versus unstructured thing and all of that. So I can see that. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think from a technical standpoint, that probably makes perfect sense. I guess, all being in the same ecosystem and unified under the same software, I assumed it would be easier. And, my mistake for making that, that assumption, right? Really cool scanner though. I mean, some of the stuff, I've seen, the forest, lately I've seen a lot of forest scans with that. It seems like they're
Mhm.
doing tree surveys and that kind of thing. And for that, it seems to be perfect, because there's a lot of little details, and a lot of data that like a lot of points where it can latch onto, and
Mhm.
kind of maintain location integrity. But what'd you get it for, Eric?
Oh, the company I work for signed a national agreement with Leica, so we've got maybe 20 of them or something. But they dished me one, so I have one in my office. And I imagine, like you said, I'll probably do a lot. Like, in fact, I just scanned a building yesterday that was like 900 setups, but there's still some detail I wouldn't mind adding into some of the rooms. So maybe I would just kind of cruise through and seam it into the data that's already there. That's what I used to do with the Navis scanner, so I don't see why it wouldn't work with the BLK2Go scanner.
Yeah. Well, I guess the question is, in what ecosystem are you combining them?
Register 360.
Yeah. And then are you happy with them with keeping it in LGS format, or
Yeah, we part of our lease agreement, we will have the reality capture studio. So I guess we're gonna be using that.
I tried it, and I think it's great for large scale exterior landscape scenes. It's terrible, when you're trying to show multiple floors, within a building.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, totally.
there's the net, I kind of, they do a really good job of marketing, that, so you don't ask what you're not, able to do,
Yeah,
and
right.
and then you just kind of assume it's going to be like Matterport, or something. And it's not,
Well, supposedly they're putting those maps in. In fact, actually, tomorrow I have a meeting with them to look at the new version. So I'm really excited to see it. The one that's like in beta right now.
Oh, that's
And
good.
they're saying supposedly it's going to be Cintu on crack, but not to hurt Eric's feelings, but I've heard it before.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm not there anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I was not kind, because I paid a lot of money, to try that, and I made some promises, based on what I was told, and
Yeah.
at the end of the day, when I tried to share it, I mean, the uploads, I've got the fastest, internet available at my house, and I had to re-upload like these, 70, 80 gigabyte files multiple times, and it doesn't tell, you get the spinny wheel. Anyway, I'm
I
glad
don't
they
believe,
made
dude.
it.
I don't believe in all this cloud stuff, man. I keep a lot of storage at home. I keep a lot of storage on my laptop. I mean, my laptop's 8 terabyte drive. You know what I mean? Like, I don't cloud stuff. I don't know if we're ever going to have the infrastructure. I mean, it's like impossible to move that amount of data across the world and do it continuously all the time perfectly.
I actually didn't want to move that much data, like I just wanted to be able to show, a small fraction of it, but the limitations on the formatting, I couldn't convert it all to E57. I didn't want to share it in a format where everything was separate, because I'm sharing it with lay people. And so I just needed a simple way to show them, this is what I did, and it'll be ready for your technical people when they want to use it, I ended up having to put it on like 3 separate hard drives and ship it to the project manager, the architect, and the contractor, just because, like RCS was supposed to solve that problem.
Yeah.
It wasn't good enough.
Well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're either going to do that or you're going to pay out your ass for Cintu, which is just way too expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a work in progress, right? I mean, it's a new product, but it's definitely, I think it was released too early,
Mm-hmm.
like the fact that it won't even show you your registration results scares the shit out of me,
Mm.
and I don't know if the new release will start showing you the registration report, and that should make me feel better, but
Oh, I'm
As
not
of
planning
right
on
now,
using it for registration. I'm just gonna. My whole plan is just to put stuff up there as a viewer so people can view it. We'll see how that works.
yeah.
Well,
I mean, I to be honest, bring back TrueView, dude. That was fine for my clients. You know, it's just so they could jump around and see their stuff. I
that's
didn't need all
Yeah.
this stuff, other fancy shit.
that's
So,
what I did. I literally on the hard drive, I turned over to them. I had the installer file for TrueView and all the
TrueView
Mhm.
local. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to install it. Like as soon as you say you have to download a program on your computer, people immediately are like, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
run
like,
across that a lot. Because I love that TrueView viewer too. Hey Chris, how's it going?
Good. How you guys doing today?
How's
Good, good.
Pittsburgh?
Well, Pittsburgh. Warm one day, cold the next, snowing or rain. Today was rain, thunderstorms
about
last
right.
couple of days. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
probably snow by the end of the next week. You never know. It's Pittsburgh.
Awesome.
Lived there for 13 years. Know it well.
Okay,
I didn't
so
know. I
yeah,
didn't
you're
know you were
familiar.
from there. Oh, that's
That's
crazy.
where I went to school. Yeah, I'm a Pitt guy.
Oh, that's
okay.
funny. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you want to weigh in at all on what we were just talking about, Chris?
No, I mean I hear you on the Reality Capture Studio HXDR, whatever final name they came out for you. For that, I hear you on that. I've played around with it a little bit. I'm like, I think for how long it took to come out, it could have been better.
Yeah.
I don't support
Yeah,
it,
I
so
forgot. I
I'm
forgot
good.
about that part of it.
What? How long
I
it
forgot
took?
that they were releasing it for 2 years. I forgot about that.
You have no idea how long it was worked on internally, long before the public ever saw it. So,
Uh-huh.
Well, you know, Hexagon made that big purchase of what was it, Avir or something like that? Do you know which one it was?
a veer, but that's nothing to do with. Well, I mean, it will be, but you know.
Well, from where I'm sitting right now, I can tell you the client that we're working for bought $1 billion worth of Hexagon stuff. So they either invested or I don't know what the deal is, but they're telling us that we need to start using it. So obviously someone's pushing it pretty hard.
Eric, are you trying to say that you and I are about to become really good friends?
We already signed a lease agreement with Leica, so I'm pretty sure.
That's what I heard when I jumped on.
I don't know if you're in that on. I don't know. Do you work in that group too? It's confusing, like who is who and anymore, dude. Like, I know, you know, Michael James, MJ, Dog, whatever you want to call him. He's like running that program, and then I always contact you all the time, so I don't know. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to have some employees pretty soon. They're going to be contacting you all the time.
Yeah.
All right, not a problem. I mean, that's, you know, hardware, software support. As soon as it gets released, I have to support it. So that means I got to learn it.
You're gonna have some
Is
trusted
that
guys,
Leica
that's for
only?
sure.
What's that,
So
Matt?
you're
Oh, I'm just thinking about all the surveyors in the field having to switch softwares. They're gonna be disgruntled as shit.
what surveyors for?
For you, is it just reality capture, or are you guys switching over?
Oh
to total
yeah, it's
stations
just
too?
reality capture. No,
Oh,
we're not
okay,
going to make
okay.
anybody. We're not going to make anybody switch, dude. That's their choice.
Oh, okay.
Right on.
For laser scanners, we've got an agreement. I mean, they can use it or not use it by office, right? I mean, you know, there's another guy, a national guy, so it's really his deal. I just happened to get thrown into it, so I didn't even know about it. Just and like my first meeting is tomorrow, so I'm like, oh, okay. And to be honest, the stuff they bought, I probably wouldn't have bought. I'm super picky, dude. I want 8 batteries with my scanner. You know what I mean? I want 2 charging bays. You know, I want a 12-foot tripod, a 22-foot tripod. I mean, like I've got. And the funny thing is, I own all this stuff. Why can't I just buy my stuff?
Yeah. Or just rent it from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and which is funny is, yeah, as much as high as the RTC is on my list for terrestrial scanners, the BLK is starting to get lower and lower on the mobile scanner list as far
The
as
V2,
what
the
I would.
V2 one.
The
No, the
Pulse.
BLK to go.
Oh,
Either of
BLK
them.
to go. Gotcha. Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, I know I see you post a lot about that. Is it a Faro one that you like now? I think, or
I like the Faro one.
Yeah.
As I'm taking a look at this data, because there's all proof is in the data, right?
Yeah.
It's the data is by far subpar, I think, in my opinion,
Uh-huh.
from the BLK series.
Mm.
Mac, how much do you have to look at? Because I really want to see it. I'm interested in the hover map and some of the like lesser known products to see how they stack up.
You know, I don't. I've been resident on downloading too much of it because I'm waiting till the control issues are fixed, right?
Yeah, I just saw that email from with you and Leo.
Yeah, so I just the day that we took it in, we were looking at through some of it, right? And then, you know, the day we collected it, we looked at the BLK data, and wasn't even worth looking at. And I know I'll probably get gigged for saying that, but
Well, it was
Yeah.
indoors, but there were bright lights, so I don't know.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can't put that in any of the reports. We got to keep that one internal. I don't need Mike Harvey calling me on my personal cell, being like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?"
Why would Herbie
No,
do that?
and-
Come on.
and what I just said is definitely my opinion on the
Oh
matter.
no, I
you know?
totally get that. I may be of the same. I don't know. I'm just saying I don't want my name associated with the BLK stuff going out because they didn't sponsor. But I still want to see
Yeah.
it and see how that compares. An interesting thing. I was talking to John Russo last night. He was talking about acquiring a slam scanner for ARC, and he was going back and forth on does he or does he not want to go in with Navis? And he was like, with the price, and he's like going back and forth. And I said, why don't you wait for the report to come out and look at all of them together? And I was like, maybe the hover map is exactly what you need, and you can get two of them for the same price as a Navis and not have to worry about the software. So I basically sold USIBD on the document that we're about to create for them, but I'm interested in that, right? Like, how would that compare for the money? Can you get two of something and get better results than one of something that's more expensive, right? How does the Hesai match up with the Velodyne?
Yeah. Well, and I think that's one of my biggest contentions with the Navis is, price, right?
Yeah.
For what you get.
It may be, well, they have a really good marketing department. I have nothing bad to say about anybody that works at Navis, but as an end-to-end solution, I don't think it's what they make it out to be, because the time on the back end to process and get out a deliverable is way higher than what they advertise.
And every time I've seen them collect data in the field, it's way longer than what they suggest it is. Yeah.
Well, I just spent 2 years with the Navis version 2, and I got to tell you, I hated the data every second of it, dude. But it's just me.
Eric, you might appreciate this. I did a Sam's Club, old abandoned Sam's Club, and just the interior was left for day 2. Same square footage. It was me with an RTC, and the other kid was running the Navis. He finished about 20 minutes before me, right? And I'm doing a grid. So in the middle of every single set of columns, I'm doing a scan low. As I got to the interior, I did medium and then high just for the coverage. I had it done, QA'd, QC'd, and out while he was still waiting on his last 2 runs to come back from Navis.
Wow. That's crazy, yeah.
And it didn't work in Ivion. I had to fix it in Reg 360.
Well, I'll tell you, a big architecture firm that uses it, I'll tell you, they cut by time, and then they cut by time again, and cut by time again, and it might as well just be separate setups that they're trying to kind of stitch together. It's kind of insane that, and then they're like, yeah, this is pretty accurate. I'm like, I don't know, man.
How's it going?
Hi,
Yeah, I guess that.
no, David?
Yeah.
Is he around?
He is not. He got to go to Chicago. He asked me to fill in for him, so I jumped in to help out.
So we got a new person here, Lauren. Hi, Lauren. Where are you from?
Hi, Lauren.
Hey, what's up? Toronto, Canada.
Oh, cool. Welcome to the great Northwest and wherever else everybody's from, Pittsburgh and California. And
Thank
Eric,
you.
are you still in California too?
I mean, until I run out of cash, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
California problems.
Yeah, yeah. I ran out of
Easy to
cash
do
and
down
ran
there.
away. Yeah, right on. Well, that's interesting. Is anybody else in here using a Navis or anything like that?
I went pretty much full
Yeah.
Leica.
Yeah. I think the one thing you've got going for you with that little BLK to go is at least you can process it all in one place.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean the only one
Yeah.
don't really have is the BLK to fly, which
Mhm.
I think I think could be really cool for 50 grand. I've got better ideas, but
Yeah, me too.
yeah, it'd be awfully nice.
Mm.
Eric, remind me what was your role at Leica for? Were you doing hardware design, or?
Oh, no. So I was a product manager in the software group. So I owned all the CloudWorks products. Used to own all the Jetstream and all of that before it was discontinued. Started off when I first came in, I was working on Register 360, but yeah, I was doing a bunch of stuff over there.
Gotcha. Okay. So and did you kind of come up through the software development world, or?
Yeah, so I actually so from my days in Pittsburgh, I was part of a startup that I built up, our Autodesk RealView. That was my product at the startup. Autodesk acquired us, and so I was on the recap team for a few years too before I joined Leica. Um, so yeah, I've been around. We'll see where I land next, but
Oh, fascinating. Yeah, no, it's really interesting. I mean, the reality capture space is so diverse,
mhm,
from like purely aesthetic. I was talking to somebody about nerf, processing,
yeah,
and I mean, to me, it's kind of like Matterport, where it's like really cool, aesthetically, not that useful for anything else, right?
yeah.
And so, so creating that, but people see it and they're like, oh, cool, like it's so
Mhm.
precise. The visual clarity, is so good, that it must indicate technical, accuracy, right? And I think that, that's probably leads to a lot of misunderstanding and sticker shock, when they look at the whole workflow on the other end, and it's like, okay, well, if you want this purely visual thing, it's it looks awesome and it's not a lot of money. If you want the awesome technical thing, it's like way on the other side, right?
Yeah, and I mean that's exactly it. And that's, for a long time, everywhere I've been that has been an internal debate is, that striking that balance between accuracy and visual fidelity because, many customers, especially if they're, just accepting a deliverable or whatever, they just want it to look really good. They want to be able
Mm-hmm.
to, read labels and signs and stuff. They want nice pictures, but then the guys that are doing the modeling and stuff, they want clean data, they want accurate data. And so there was always that kind of balance between, okay, what's okay to fill in, what do you drop out just for the sake of preserving the integrity of the data and all of that. So, finding that balance was always an internal fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, no, that's interesting. You know, I, one thing I was talking to Mac, a while ago about this. One thing that I've always thought would be really interesting, to work on would be, kind of a pricing, portal, that helps. I mean, when I was doing project management, everything was kind of guided by scope, schedule, and budget, right?
Yep.
And so when you talk about this stuff, like scope is really hard for people to understand, and and so I feel like if you can help people understand, what the scope is of what they're asking, and like, when you take the leap from a certain class of product to another class of product, like these are the things that are involved. I always thought that would be really useful for people, because then, like, if the scope is clear, everything else kind of falls out from that, and you can really understand, okay, like, this is an entirely different class of hardware, a totally different workflow, like all that kind of stuff. It's just
Well, and even just trying to get a customer to understand, like, Eric and Chris and some of you guys were talking about with the processing time on the back end. The customer says, "Oh yeah, I've watched some of these demo videos online, and it's just done, right?"
Yeah.
And they don't know the QC that goes into it on the back end. Fixing a busted registration or whatever. And yeah, trying to communicate that back to your clients so they know, yeah, like, I'm putting X amount of time in this afterwards. You need me to do this. It's worth something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was using Pix 4D for a while, and for drone photogrammetry stuff, and they have this automated pipeline, but and it's supposed to be pretty accurate, but I had so many problems visually, and there's no way to fix it. I ended up just kind of giving up on that, and doing it all myself, manually, just because it's there are certain times when you just have to do like the really high visual reconstruction, and they had no way to do that. It drove me crazy, because the product is otherwise pretty good, but they tried to cut the processing time, and figured a little bit of bubbling, it doesn't matter for survey work, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's like Matterport. I mean, everybody talks about Matterport being kind of the gold standard for visual fidelity. But that data, oh man, if you've ever exported that, it's unusable. I mean, it's just
yeah,
garbage.
yeah. Well, I will say, after my experience on the last project, I got the Matterport, the Pro 3, mainly because, there's going to be, situations where, like this, the primary thing they wanted up front was a site scan. They inherited a site that was half built, and so they just needed to go through and tag like where everything was. And, there's a lot of other scanners that could produce that survey, but the Pro 3 is, I mean, it is lightning fast, and it really is like 20-25 seconds per scan. And so if what you need is a visual and like a map that doesn't have to be accurate, oh my God, it does that real well.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't tried to export the LiDAR, on
I haven't tried it recently. It was a couple years ago when I last, was doing some competitive analysis stuff, and oh man, it was just so bad. I mean, maybe it's
Well,
improved. Hopefully, it's improved, but
I thought it worked well with the BLK.
oh yeah, with the BLK, the Gen 1 360.
Yeah. Data
Yeah,
came out pretty good.
yeah. I've tried that. And I haven't. I've looked at the registration, with it. I haven't actually measured, the accuracy of it, but it looked pretty good, when it came out of the Leica stuff.
Were you actually using the software or I guess the webware, whatever you want to call it, and then were you keeping the scans and then importing them into Register 360, or were you
Yeah.
actually? Okay, yeah, I mean, if you did it any other way, it probably would still suck, but that way it seems like it should be okay.
Yeah. And when you order the the AEC packages from Matterport, my understanding is they have actual humans that go in there, and try to clean up some of that register data, because like the maps are still ugly, like the 3D models that come out of it have all kinds of artifacts, and even with the Pro 3, even with great lighting and great, conditions and relatively short, distances between each scan, it's still not great, the model. But I think if you order the AEC package and you use the LiDAR, it will be a heck of a lot better than it was. The old one, I forget what tech it was. I think it was infrared. The Pro 2. It wasn't LiDAR though.
Yeah, it was infrared. I think Corsmo has the one that I bought way back in the day. But I switched it out with a BLK as soon as I could. So
yeah,
so, yeah.
I would. I mean, if Matterport integrated with the Gen 2 360, that would be perfect. Because then I could take it in the Matterport world, ship it off, to whoever cares about the visual stuff, and then post process it, with like a, accuracy. But can't do that. So you're stuck, with the ridiculously long scan time, of the Gen 1, if you want that quick and easy Matterport interface.
Dude, I tried to fight that battle when that guy John worked there at Matterport. John Chullywag, right? Does anybody know that guy?
Oh, Schwalbach. He used to be a
Schwalbach,
GM.
yeah. Yeah, I
Used to
used
be
to
a
always
GM
tell him,
back
I
in the
want the
day,
RTC to work there. Get the RTC working in there. I'd fight all the time with that guy.
Out of curiosity, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry to interject. I've never used Matterport, but I've seen, some of the videos. And is the visual fidelity based upon the camera, and or is it their processing software that gives it that level of clarity?
Little of both.
It's the basis of it is just a camera. Really.
Yeah, okay, that would make sense. Like
Photogrammetry.
garbage in, garbage out, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
I would
Good
track.
point.
Whereas most
So-
laser
so-
scanners think of their imaging secondary,
Yeah, makes sense, because that's most applications. No one really cares, but yeah, cool. But that there's a way to. So were you talking about doing like a Matterport scan and then BLK scan, and then meshing the two, like holding the photogrammetry from the Matterport and?
So Matterport workflows are primarily photogrammetry, but they have assistive LiDAR, location, baked into the newer scanners, and so Leica and the BLK 360 are laser first. Matterport is all photogrammetry first, and so
Right. Okay.
and so like you can do Matterport models with the standard 360 degree camera and no LiDAR, like just a Insta360 X3, for $400, and you can be doing Matterport models, and they're pretty good. I mean, that's a 72 megapixel camera, spherical camera. It's okay.
Yeah.
The 3D models are going to suck, but Matterport's not really really what gives Matterport, the navigability with the value is it's point to point. They're trying to locate those 360 degree photos with just enough accuracy that you can move from point to point and then look at the camera and pan around. And so you're looking at an actual photo when you're navigating in Matterport models, and that's why it looks so good. But
Yeah.
the 3D models themselves and the maps are just good enough, to be roughly accurate. They're not like survey grade at all.
Can we also just for the, if I'm the only Canadian, can we define that? What do you guys call accuracy?
Oh, geez. Oh,
I
don't-
can convert to metric. That's fine. But what are we looking at? Like an inch and a half?
I mean,
Back.
well,
The look on your face.
yeah.
All it basically means is that they can reproduce it with a 90% accuracy. There is no actual standard that you could put to it realistically.
Okay, so there's no
Yeah.
plus minus. at
It's
certain
a
distance?
salesperson's catchphrase at this point.
I say it's a
Half
term
a
that
foot?
has no meaning. Even in survey, it's project dependent, right? So
Yeah,
there
because
is
I
no
mean,
true,
for a
survey
topo
grade
guy,
within
it's
survey.
completely different
Yeah.
than
Granted, yeah. Up here in Canada, we have a saying that you give the client what they need, not what they want. I didn't
There
tell you
go.
that though. That's a little
Makes sense.
industry
Yeah.
secret.
I do not like that term survey grade. I mean, I would say the Matterport is real estate grade, and then you have, you know, as is grade. Like, yeah, there's a wall there, right? Like, there's different grades for different products for different applications. I don't think there's one standard term. Just because you put survey on it doesn't mean that your product is quality.
Oh, that's fair. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
that term real estate grade. I mean, it's a door, it swings, maybe made of cardboard,
Well,
but
I
It's
think
great for real estate agents to put online with their MLS listing so a client understands the space without going to the open house, right?
yeah.
That's why I call it real estate grade. It's pretty. It can sell a house. It's
Mhm.
not going to help the
That's what it's
architect
built for.
redesign it, but it'll help sell it.
Well,
Yeah, I like
know
I
who
like
has
that
a-
term.
I am curious about the Pro 3 LiDAR. I have not, I mean, all I can tell you is with the Pro 2 and with the, 360 cameras, it took forever, to take the pictures, run, and do the photogrammetry on your phone so that it could locate. And there were a lot of false, retakes that had to happen. And with the new one, it is lightning fast and like 99%, never have to take take it again, and so I would be really curious to see the accuracy on the new stuff, to order the deliverables. I don't know anybody that's actually used it for that, probably because every deliverable they've gotten in the past has been garbage, but I will say, just based on the speed of the new camera and the fact that I was going farther and farther, probably like, I don't know, up to maybe 10 yards, between scans, in open spaces, and it was nailing it, so I would be really curious to see the new stuff, what the LiDAR actually looks like.
interesting.
I spent some time with TopoDot at Geo Week, and they have a cool pricing structure, and they have a lot more tools than I thought they did. But I don't know if anybody has ever talked to them before, but their pricing structure is $20 a day that you use it. If you don't use it, you don't pay $20 that day.
That is
So-
awesome.
That is
Yeah.
genius, actually. I think is probably the
I was like, that's great. And then you could save up all your work for that software for like one day a week, right? And just knock it all out that one day.
Yeah.
What's
That
that
is
called?
TopoDot.
Opodot.
Yeah. That is too brilliant. It will not catch on.
But yeah, I'm sure they hope it doesn't.
For their sake, yeah.
Yeah.
That is an awesome pricing structure.
Is
Yeah,
Topodot holding point clouds?
Yeah, so they're all about extraction of data from point clouds. So they
Clear
have
Edge does pipes. TopoDot does anything transportation roadwise. Curbs,
Yeah.
gutters, road signs, overheads. Yeah, it's basically Clear Edge for DOT.
Right, but is
They've,
there a viewer there?
they've
It
moved
sounds
into
like there's
construction too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a viewer built in. Well, the last time I saw it, like it looked pretty sweet. I like their automatic features. Last time I really got in with them was at ILMF. So it's been a little
Yeah.
while. They've
Oh,
probably only gotten exponentially better since then.
Yeah, I mean, and of course their demo is gonna obviously be cool, but at $20 a day, I'll try it out for a few days. You know what I mean? Here and there.
Right.
Yeah. That's funny because I always thought
I
it
was
was
actually gonna have them.
Civil 3D replacement.
Hello, Damon, the People Shark.
What?
Somebody's TV.
Sorry, guys.
It's all right. I just heard Demon Shark, and I was like, I don't know that company, but it sounds awesome.
Best name ever.
Yeah,
Fubu.
actually,
Owner of Fubu.
copyright that one.
Demon shark? Yeah, because sharks aren't scary enough. You gotta make it a demon shark.
Yeah, Demon Shark, a Demon Sharknado, right?
There,
So-
oh Jesus. No. There you go,
So, Mac,
Sharknado.
I'm looking on the website. It looks like there's an $11,000 buy-in, a one-time fee, and then it's $20 a day.
Is that he must have
Oh,
left that out
really?
during his presentation?
Wow. That really changes things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does a little. That does a little. Yeah. No, it does a lot actually. I'll have to send him an email about that because he left that part out of it.
Yeah. Maybe it's a conference special.
Yeah.
That could
No
have been.
kidding. That's a
Yeah.
pretty big special though.
That's the
$1,000
demon
cheaper?
shark right there, the $11,000 buy-in.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And actually, I was gonna. I owe them an email anyways. I was gonna invite them to come on and talk to us about it. Anyway, so we can reserve those questions, I guess, for when they come on. Yeah. I mean, I don't want this to turn into a presentation, bi-weekly get presented
Sales
to,
pitches.
but I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
But it's nice every once in a while to bring someone in to kind of liven it up a little bit, right?
I don't know. You know what? It might be a little different because there's a lot of people here that have a lot of different input and a lot of different ideas about what it could be or maybe could not be. And it would be an interesting conversation with this group. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
It would
Almost
be
like a gauntlet for
it would
them.
be the shit.
Put them to task.
Holy crap. It could
Yeah.
be really
is- I mean,
cool.
Which is the point of it. Yeah. So I'll invite him for the next one. Do we want to continue doing these bi-weekly or do we want to push them out monthly? How are we feeling?
I missed the last two on accident just because I was spaced it, actually, to be honest.
Well, I canceled the Valentine's Day one.
Oh, did you?
Hopefully everybody got that notice. Yeah, I realized that my wife wouldn't be happy. I'm sure everybody else's wife probably wouldn't be.
Dude, I went out and bought my wife a nice necklace. I usually don't buy anything. And then you know what she did? She returned it.
Should keep the cash.
Well, I mean, the cash just went to pay bills, but I was surprised because I never really tried to do something like that before. It's kind of a first time thing. And I thought this year I'm going to be so swank. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to surprise her. And she returned it.
Well, maybe it was just so different. It was off-putting to her. So she had to like get rid of it
Yeah,
because
could
she was
be.
confused.
That or you're bragging, one or the other.
At least
Yeah.
she didn't
Yeah.
ask you, what did you do?
Or I have awful taste. Do you ever think about that?
Yeah. What are you in trouble for? What are you guilty
Well, I
for,
think
right?
Yeah, totally. Why are you doing this? What's the deal?
So they actually, my booth here is right next to the bar, and I think I'm gonna get super loud because it's right next to the bar.
Nice.
So I'm gonna be muted for the rest of the meeting, but continue to talk all you guys want to.
I think twice a month is good. Great.
All
Yeah,
right, so we'll
I
keep
agree
it
with that.
bi-weekly.
Yeah.
All right. Good. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like
Yeah, I like
getting
it.
you guys bored, and everybody's still finding value in it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think it's fun
definitely.
to hear what other people have to say. It's very interesting to me, anyway.
Mac,
Yeah.
I love these like roundtable discussions where it's just like, who wants to talk about what? Go. Love it.
Yeah.
At least it's
No,
not
I-
a table with the Smiths.
Yeah.
It's like our committee group. We just get together and start talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish
is
this
our,
was
like-
Friday, because then I could have told you guys all about what I saw in tomorrow's meeting. It's going to be interesting.
Oh yeah, I'll be super interested in that because I know at least the guy in Washington, or the guy that used to be the Skanska guy in Washington for survey, refused refused
Oh,
to
yeah?
even think about it. So
Mhm.
Interesting.
it'd be interesting to see how that comes about.
Yeah, definitely.
Question, guys. Do you feel that Leica's coming around now, that more customers are asking for Leica's point clouds?
I don't think they care about what the point cloud is. I don't think they know the difference.
Yeah.
Do they?
No, I have customers that are asking for Leica only.
Wow, that's cool.
Hmm.
That would sure help me out since I only own Leica gear.
Yeah.
Same here.
Sounds like you have an
That's about
educated
that.
customer that knows the difference between the point clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's that's cool, and that was me, a year or two ago. But I also don't think they should probably shut themselves off to the potential of other great things that are coming.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's not kid ourselves, dude. There's a big difference on that double return on black pipes and shiny stuff and even black cars. You know what I mean? That's why
Yeah.
I use the scanner, just because of the return on the data on the
Yeah.
in those areas.
Speaking of
Maybe
clean
that's-
data, the one manufacturer that I don't think is represented enough in industry at large is ZNF.
Oh my God, Chris, come
Never
on.
heard of them. Was that a pitch?
No, I mean,
or-
I used to work there.
I know,
Honestly,
that's why
they're
it's funny
on
that you
par
bring
with
it up.
Leica. Just nobody's heard of them,
Oh.
and that used to drive me insane when I worked there. I'm like, this is good data. Look how clean this is. I'm like, why do you people not know who ZNF is?
How do you
Well,
spell
I think
that?
the
That's
RTC
a lot of
360 is kind
consonants.
of like that. Is it a 5016?
Yeah,
I
the
think, or
5016 unit was announced, and then Leica was like, here's our RTC. And then a year later, ZNF's like, here's the thing we told you about 2 years ago. And I was like, you guys are late to the party. You're behind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's kind of a similar thing, right? Kind of a similar scanner.
Yeah, it was like, well, it was, they were both like kind of first to market with a field alignment solution,
Mhm.
right? And orientation. ZNF doesn't have the camera system for the Viz, but they have an IMU and an arrow on the top to tell you which way to swing it.
That sounds useful.
Similar results, just different tech.
Mm-hmm. I don't.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
wonder, are we going to see another scanner with a Viz type technology in it? There's not one that I know about.
The LKG2 and the RTC. Those are the only two at the moment. Well, no, and the Pulse. Pulse
And
has
the
the
to
cameras
go.
on the
No,
front.
I mean
Yeah.
from
Or-
other outside of Leica.
Oh,
I think that seems like that's copyrighted, or
Oh, that's
this
that's
point.
They can't call it
heavily
Viz, but-
copyrighted.
yeah. I mean, you can't. What does Leica have a patent on that tech, or just the Viz technology?
There's a lot of patents around the
Yeah.
Viz system and everything. I mean,
That's the only
I-
reason
I-
I can think that no one else is using it.
I
because it's
can't say
genius.
that, absolutely every aspect is copy protected and, no one else could ever do something similar. But yeah, there were a lot of patents filed for that sort of stuff.
Oh, nice. Well, Eric, you know about ZNF then, like profilers and
Yep.
everything on the Pegasus units up until the TRX was all ZNF sensors.
Yep. And I mean, I being in Pittsburgh, I mean, at a laser scanning startup back in the day, yeah, we were close with ZNF and did all sorts of stuff with them because as soon as Autodesk started sniffing around, Leica cut us off from hardware access, and so you guys were still working with us. So yeah.
Were you dealing with Jurgen or Eric
With
ZNF?
I
Tall,
wanna
skinny
say-
guy with a bad German accent.
want to say Jurgen, yeah. I
Okay.
wasn't directly involved in that relationship. We just always had the scanners in the office. So
I got you. No, I love Jurgen, man. He's Austrian, but he has to speak in German when he calls the peeps in the office. And when the German interns are in, they're like, his German sucks. And I'm like, he's Austrian. Cut him some slack.
yeah, there's a big fight in Switzerland between the Swiss Germans and the German Germans and the different dialects and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just how we have French in Montreal here. And it's different
Yeah,
from
they get to
France
see.
French.
Probably much like the New Orleans French is different.
Yeah.
You know.
Cool.
So
All
okay,
right.
so since we're talking about Viz, sorry, I have
Yeah,
a
yeah,
question.
go ahead.
For people that have processed heavily without a Viz scanner, does it really make that much of a difference on the back end? Like, can you not just cloud to cloud or whatever? Is that not able to compensate? Like, I know it's nice to have it kind of snapped more or less to, what do we use? Retail grade, whatever, real estate
I'd
grade.
say,
Like that's super,
2018,
but
2019, and 2020, it made a big difference because the cloud to clouds weren't strong then.
mm,
The Regal now, it does all of the registration on board. I mean, you could still take it into their software and check it and everything, but like, so in that case, no, it doesn't make that big of a difference. Sorry. But up until then, yeah, it made a huge difference. Like even
okay.
like beyond the BLK to people. Thank you. Sorry. Go ahead, guys.
Now, I would say that the Viz takes the initial guesswork out of your registration and helps everything get to a point where it's pre-aligned. You just have to run the algorithm and then tweak it. Whereas
Right.
before you would have to every single link, unless you were using something that could do plane to plane, your cloud to cloud would twist like crazy
Really?
based on what was the heaviest in the scene, right? So if your walls in the background have a really low resolution, but your tank and that you're scanning around has the most, then it can twist around the tank to the point where you have like 5-6 walls, right? The cylinder looks good, but the exterior looks like shit. If you had plane to plane, that would straighten out, but not everyone had that. Viz took care of that for you in the field.
Okay, cool. But nowadays, the other brands, have they like caught up a little bit, or it's
I
this is
mean,
kind
you
of like a
can.
negligent function?
I'll just
Sorry,
say,
go ahead.
like I'll just say, and people might say I defend Leica too heavily, which is not true because I'll shit on any company that when I get mad at them. But I will say that I've been using the iPad a lot more than I used to. I mean, dude, I come from scan maps, you know what I mean? Creating them on a piece of paper as I scan. But and dude, I'm being able to link every single link now in the field. And when I get back into my office, if I scan well enough, my QC is minimal. Like where it used to take me 10, 12
Yeah,
hours to QC, I might do 2 hours and be like, holy crap, there's not much to do here. So it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But it kind of
right.
depends on, you've got to know how to scan with the scanner and you've got to know the
Yeah.
right distances. And I'm a triangle junkie, so I
Overlap.
create triangles out of everything.
And I will
Yeah.
say, going vertical inside a building, the cloud to cloud algorithms have a very good chance of just putting all 50 floors on one floor.
Yeah, because they all look
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah, I
Hotels,
did.
yeah.
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 Stairs.
So
Oh my
that
God.
Viz is
Kill me.
instrumental inside construction, I think.
Yeah. Eric, now that with the new registration that you can do in the field, the BLK 360 works with Field 360. It didn't. It was a whole separate workflow for a very long time. And actually, I've been meaning to try that, but and I haven't yet, so I can't say how great it would be. I sure wish I had that 2 months ago. It would have saved me a huge amount of headache because it was hours, aligning all those BLK to go scans manually, and I ran out of space on the iPad, because those HDR, every one of those HDR scans is 300 megabytes,
Oh my God. Yeah.
yeah. So I had to upgrade to the 2 terabyte iPad, to fit a day's worth of scanning on there.
Yeah, I know what you mean because you know what? I carry two 2 terabyte hard drives with me to get through a day. Because guess what? One doesn't work, and sometimes the batteries, even when you're plugged into a battery, it doesn't always charge. So
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy the amount of crap, that I didn't know I needed, right? I've got a battery bank in the car. I got battery banks in both pockets. I'm like gearing up for war every time I go do something like this.
I always try and tell customers about the unforeseen costs. Like, don't think you're just buying software and scanner. Like, you're
Nope.
buying a new computer, you're buying new tablets.
It's like having a baby.
Maybe not right
There's
now,
a bunch
but
of
you're
shit you need that you didn't know you did until you need it.
yeah.
Plus insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys all carrying equipment insurance on top of your standard policy?
Yeah.
Like marine insurance or something? Oh, good. What is that costing you monthly? If you don't mind me asking, if it's not too private.
I just got a quote for if I own the RTC brand new,
Mhm. Yeah.
it'll cost me 2,500 a year, Canadian.
So that's like
That's like
150 bucks US.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
$2.
Come on now, guys.
Oh, come on now, guys. That's rude.
Come on, it's not Australian dollars.
Oh,
Okay,
gotcha.
agreed.
No, that's like what,
And you know what's
17,
funny?
1800 bucks?
So if I
That's
have rental
20%.
insurance, it costs me $24.20 a year.
If you have what? Did you say insurance?
Rental insurance,
Oh, rental insurance. Gotcha. Interesting.
which is fucked,
Is that
right?
not covered by the
Yeah.
people that you rent from? Isn't that kind of the whole jam?
So it
I
costs
have a
you less if
feeling
you
you've never
rent.
rented before.
Apparently not.
Usually when you
Damn
rent,
it.
which I've had to do on several occasions, they want you to insure the scanner and you have to give them, at least the places I've used, you have to give them a certificate
Yeah.
claiming them as the is the word indemnified? I can't remember, but
Additional
Yeah.
insured.
yeah. I've had to rent so many times because I've broken so many scanners. Not funny.
Good
Those might
gravy.
just be requirements for you then. I'm not sure.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, the dummy in the group for sure.
Yeah. And you can never go through like the plate. Let's say you're in a pinch, right? If you go
Yeah.
to the supplier, they don't carry their own insurance that you can like a car, right? You can check the box. Yes, I want the insurance on the car rental for a negligible sum.
I'll tell you, I've rented from Datum Tech, I've rented from Nortech, I've rented from Leica in not Huntington Beach, Costa Mesa, which is the most expensive, by the way. And I rented from from K&R. And I asked each one of them the same question. Can't I just get insurance through you guys for one-time use? Hell no. That's the answer. That's my version of the answer anyway. Because it pissed me off.
So I used to work for KR, and I never required anybody to get insurance on the equipment they rented.
So it was me then. I rented from the wait, which care did you work at? Seattle?
Seattle, yeah.
Huh. The guy I dealt with, the rental guy, was a black dude.
So you're talking about Dave Thomas. He still works there.
Dave Thomas. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Thank you. So is he not the rental
Wendy's
guy
guy.
anymore?
Yeah, the Wendy's guy.
No. Yeah, I know.
No.
I'd always give him shit about that. No, he's a man of many hats in the company. But
Oh, gotcha.
yeah. They may have changed it since then, but yeah, no, I never required anybody to get insurance. I mean, they had to sign a form saying you break it, you buy it, right?
Right.
But
well, it probably also depends how big is the company you're dealing with, right? If you're dealing with a guy like me at the time that has owns one scanner, rents one scanner on occasion, that might be a different.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
Well,
no. Come to
frankly-
think of it, they made DLR get insurance when DLR rented, and that's a 50 office architecture firm.
Wow.
Yeah, they must have changed their rules on it. I know that it's so painful to rent that typically maybe that's the reason why they changed it, because it's super expensive to rent a scanner.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
I agree with that.
When I saw it, I was just like, I'll just buy one.
Yeah.
It was $3,000 a week is what I think what we were paying.
I think
Yeah, sounds about right.
for the
Yeah,
RTC,
tracks.
it's about $2,500 every 2 days or something, or for a 2-day rental, and then a week is like $4 something. I have to look over again.
Yeah, that's
They
crazy.
like $9,000 a month, something like that.
Dude, it's Leica charges $3,800 a month, so that was my last choice. And I got to tell you, Dave at Nor, man, that guy hooked it up.
Yeah.
He was the
Dave,
cheapest, $2,700 a week.
Yeah. And a lot of times if it was a customer and they were in a pinch, I'd loan it to them for a couple of days, just to.
That must be why you don't work there anymore. Bob was like, "Get this guy out of here."
No, I
Can't pay
ran
for
that
my
through
next
them.
Harley.
I mean, when a guy buys, 4 or 5 scanners from you, are you really going to try and gig him on some rental fees every time he's
Yeah.
in need?
Yeah, no, that was the right decision for sure. Absolutely.
But yeah. Cool. Well, guys, that is our hour. Anybody have any last words?
I was just gonna call out, looks like, David, are you Vision Proing over there?
He is. You're
No
muted.
I
sound.
hear you.
Oh.
Yeah. No.
Can't hear
can't-
you, buddy.
No.
Still nothing.
Nope.
No.
It's showing that you're not muted, so it's something on the.
Thanks for pointing that out, by the way. I was curious myself.
Yeah, it was like, we got some, Emperor Palpatine hologram sort of action over there.
Yeah. Hey, he was talking at the beginning of the meeting. Yeah, he's using his Vision Pros. He's been rocking them pretty heavily since he got them the other last week.
I've heard all sorts of things. I've heard people that think they're, incredible and they'll change a lot of things. I've heard people that go, why they spend the money? I've heard people that are, kind of in the middle. I'm intrigued. Like I would be interested to build some stuff for it, but
I saw the first and only good demonstration I saw for the use of the technology now was there was a guy that took it in the field and he was flying FPV with a drone. And that's the first solution that allows you to comply legally with line of sight obligations while you're also flying. You can also see in the other eye, the first person
FPV,
perspective.
yeah.
Yeah. And so he was saying that it's pretty cool because when you've got it in the demonstration, you can see on your screen, it doesn't appear that big, but when you're wearing it, you've got like a massive, screen over here with what you're seeing from the first person perspective. And then the rest of your peripheral vision is all you can look at the drone. And so I imagine it probably takes quite a while, to adjust your brain, to actually be safe when you're doing that, but
I wonder if you could actually zoom in your regular sight too. Like, can you just zoom in an area that you're actually looking at? Because that would help out with that line of sight thing too. Because I think that's the first rule that gets broken when you're flying a drone.
For sure. Well,
especially like
yeah,
black
and
drones, stuff that just blend in.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of technical debate about whether or not assistive technology, qualifies as, line of sight or not. But it's a gray enough area. I think most people would embrace that if you could just like pinch in and and zoom in like that. It'd be awesome. And especially if it had some kind of like shake compensation. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
I spend half the time when I'm piloting a drone looking at the screen, looking at the sky, looking at the screen, looking at the sky, being like, I know it's there. I can't see it.
Exactly. Well, and actually, I think one of the best applications for that is going to be when you can put the screen up there and it just has the little tracking box, and it's actually doing it for you, and so then you can follow it, visually, but the computer's assisting you.
Like they do with hockey now with the puck on the screen.
Yeah.
That would be bitching.
Blue pass. That's actually super cool.
All right, guys, I'm gonna get off.
Yeah.
It's gonna get real loud here. There's people everywhere now.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Cool.
Yep. Have a good one.
It was a pleasure. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
All right,
Cheers.
see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.